Everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout following along with this week's A Cherry on Top sketch challenge. I was inspired by my new friend, Scrappy Jenny K, to do the sketch challenge for A Cherry on Top. And it just so happened that it's their 400th sketch done by Rachel, I believe. So you can earn cherry points by doing the sketch challenges, which I did not know. So you might be seeing a lot more of them. So I am using the Teen Vibe Carson collection and will be documenting football. Lucky for me, I had scraps left of this red and blue paper, which happens to be our team colors. So I just ripped it like the sketch showed, and then I am just going to layer them on top of each other. The sketch only showed one piece, but I wanted to make sure I included red and blue as my focal point. I have two smaller photos. I don't even actually know what size they are. It's kind of an odd size. I didn't even measure them, but I am going to just double mat the one I'm currently working on and use a brown piece of scrap paper. So really this layout came together using scraps, which is always amazing. And then I'm going to overlap the photos like so. The sketch had 3 photos, but I am just going to use these 2 photos. And then I am actually going to stitch my circles. I am incorporating things I learned at She Loves Color onto a couple of my layouts this month, actually. So stay tuned. One of them is quite silly. That it took me 10 years to learn, so you'll have to stay tuned for that one. So I went ahead and I poked all of the holes around the circle there, and then I used a blue, I think it's called floss. This is how little I know, I guess, about stitching, but we'll get there. And I just decided, I don't know, I had so much fun with this one. It's not maybe my norm, I guess, especially with the embellishing. But like I said, I just had a lot of fun. It was fun to follow a sketch. So you can see that the top photo is blown up a little bit more so than the photo to the right, and so I figured I would kind of use the frame to frame my son, if that makes sense. So he happened to be the center, and so I guess if you didn't know that, you wouldn't really be able to figure out where he was. But because he was the center, you know, he sticks out just a little bit from everybody. And so I figured I would use that frame and highlight him. I then decided to use the chipboard scallop here, which again, if it doesn't go the whole way either across the page or all the way under my photos, normally I would not do it, but for whatever reason I really liked the way that it looked. It also helped bring in more colors, which is in my title as well. So I am popping up my title here. I believe all of my embellishments actually came from the Teen Vibe collection. I love that there's just everything boy included in this. Sports and gaming and just so many fun things. So I believe all of my embellishments came from that collection. I decided to add more circles, and this time I stitched in red. So I added one down to the bottom and then added kind of half of a one up to the top. And then you see I just placed an even smaller frame on top of the red frame. Just not something I normally do. And I don't even remember if this is something we did at She Loves Color or this is just something I've seen and just decided to implement. But I like how it really kind of hones in on where my son is in that large picture where, you know, there's so many players on the field. And it just kind of helps figure out where he's at. So now I'm just trying to figure out how to embellish, but by adding that circle to the top, it kind of gave me a good base for another embellishment cluster. And then on this sketch, they had journaling down at the bottom, and I may just journal here and there. This definitely won't be the only layout from this football season, so maybe I'll just journal elsewhere. But I added 3 phrase pieces of ephemera, which I thought was really fun. Instead of the journaling, it still added that element that the sketch showed, but in a different way. And then I found another kind of circular element for the top. It says limited edition. And so I thought that was a good layering piece for that pennant at the top. So I am going to pop that up on foam tape. Again, just had a lot of fun. One thing I realized I missed after I had already completed the layout, but on the sketch it has some splatters. That probably would have made it, and I could probably figure out how to go back and add it. I would just have a lot to cover up. So it is what it is. I followed it pretty closely, I would say, while adding my own flair to it. So I am just going to finish off by adding just some smaller elements into the clusters. I added a couple of stars to the top ones, found another football for the bottom one, and then I added that star in the middle of the photos because if you really looked closely, you could see that the scallop doesn't go all the way up. You could see part of the cardstock underneath where I placed that star. Not enough that you could have really noticed, but I just thought that was kind of cute. And then just finished by adding, like I said, just little pieces. But one thing that I was really excited that I found, and I can't remember where I found it now. It might be I had bought a football page kit while at She Loves Colors. So this one piece of ephemera might have come from a different collection. It's still all Bella Blvd, but it said hike. And I was so thankful that I found that, because that kind of gives you even another clue as to where my son is, that he's hiking the ball. So I am going to, there it is, that little gray piece, or it's on the sticker sheet. It might be on the football sticker sheet from Bella Blvd, but it was kind of an arrow and it said hike, and I just figured that was kind of perfect to finish off this layout. So again, this is the Cherry on Top sketch challenge for the week. Their 400 sketch challenge. So if you want to, you can always do it yourself. I believe this one ends tonight, but again, they have them weekly, so definitely check them out, earn those cherry points. I hope you guys enjoyed this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye guys.